Today on the show, strategy plus action equals solving your own pain to grow a successful company.
Success in business and life is a constant back and forth of charting your course and taking the consistent steps every day to move you forward. Both are critical. My guests on this show range from hardworking entrepreneurs starting from scratch to visionary leaders of cutting-edge companies looking to scale. I help you understand the strategies that are working for them and the actions you can take to model their success. For me, a show like this is all about joining forces with my guests to dig deep and create something new for you. Whether that's a small insight to get you unstuck or a path of massive growth through customized marketing and creative sales initiatives. Welcome to Strategy in Action.
Welcome to episode 35. Today, I've got Craig Lillard on the show. His company is ClipScribe. It's an amazing tool for, at its core, automatically putting subtitles onto your videos, right? Automatically generating those subtitles. Go on there, all sorts of design features and things like that. And while that may sound so basic, because we kind of look around and there's several tools doing something similar, to do it so easily and so well, that's a different animal. I've looked recently, at some of these other tools as I see it pop up, and for what you get with ClipScribe, it's just unbelievable. And now Craig is even adding training and not just around his product, but training around turning your videos into way more than just a simple video, throwing that up on social. So we dig into all of that, some of the training he's got going. We dig into how he is very purposefully the face of his company still, even though it's a SaaS company and some folks, have advised him not to do that. He's seen the benefits of that. And I think that's honestly a trend that I've seen some, really high profile, very successful folks doing, is being the face of the company, but still being able to scale. And just because you've got that human connection, it actually helps, not only in the beginning, but even as you grow. So we dig into a bunch here around ClipScribe, his journey to get there, why he started it in the first place, really solving his own pain, and then looking up and seeing, oh, wow, this is a really good product, and not many other people are offering this service. And he's kind of gone from there and built on it all the way up to, offering done-for-you services now through this platform. Really strong. I really dig Craig, and I'm so glad he's on the show today. You're going to like it. Let's jump in. Craig Lillard, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Jason. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. This is a blast. I'm so glad to have you on and talk to you and really catch up. This is fun. We're both from Dallas. You're still back there, yes?
I am. Yep. Not originally from here, originally from Florida, Central Florida, but I've been here plenty long, 20 years or so, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. For everybody watching, Craig and I linked up because he got me with a Facebook ad back when I was still in Dallas and looking for the solution that he has with ClipScribe, and we'll dig into all of that. But it was so funny because I was like, oh, the ad worked, right? Got me there, got me signed up. This is great.
Yes.
And then he pings me. He's like, hey man, I'm in Dallas. Do you want to just link up, talk about the product a little bit? And I was like, yeah.
Well, it's so funny because this could be an advertisement for video marketing, because I only reached out to you because I'd already seen your content on LinkedIn, and I already knew who you were, even though I didn't know you at all. But I'd seen your stuff on LinkedIn. I was watching your podcast. And so when I saw you sign up, and it was early days for ClipScribe, so I'm laser focused on everybody that signs up. And I was like, it's that guy, it's the guy from LinkedIn. I know that guy. So yeah, it's funny because the ad got you, but your organic stuff got me.
That's so funny. I know. I love it. To me, that whole little craziness is exactly what I love about social media. I love about video. I love about this whole darn thing, that in this tiny little way, this stuff can happen, and then over and over and over again. And that's what I choose to focus on when it comes to social and all the stuff out there. And I don't know. I think social's exactly what you make of it. It's the AI works, right? It gives you back what you want.
Well, it took me a long time to realize that it was networking because I came from, I mean, I've been doing internet business for like 20 years, and I was very much an ads person, and I still am. But a lot of us ads people who were doing Google ads, once we switched over to Facebook, we saw Facebook as ads. It's just a new way to do ads, and never clicked on that. No. This is networking, which I wasn't great at networking, didn't really know much about it anyway, which is why I was looking at Facebook as an ad platform and doing it totally wrong. So yeah, it's networking. It's connecting with somebody on a personal level, building that know, like, and trust factor. So once I figured that out, yeah, that totally changed, my perspective and how video is so amazing at doing that.
Oh yeah. And I want to give the audience a little bit of context, certainly about what led you to ClipScribe and everything that it's about. But I want you all to know too, I really wanted to dig in today and have this conversation around what Craig's doing with ClipScribe, going beyond the product itself, but actually, creating courses, educating, training around the product, and then ancillary skills as well. And I think that's a really powerful, effective movement that we see slowly rolling out across different companies. So that's what I want to dig into. But yeah, give me that little history before ClipScribe and what led into it, because it's certainly, you were doing something very different and jumped into this.
Yeah. So like I said, almost 20 years ago, 2001, I started my first company. I mean, it was an internet company, kind of. It was like we sold kind of like training materials to nonprofits, but it was a subscription. It eventually turned into a video subscription. And I was thinking recently, I was like, man, we had to be one of the early companies doing like a video subscription where you signed up and then you got video content. So I did that for about 6 years, and then I started a stock media company. It was kind of meant to be, most people know iStock Photo or like Shutterstock. This was when nobody was doing stock video. So Revo Stock is what that was, and that was meant to be like a micro stock video. We were meant to be the first company to offer video in that kind of model where anybody could go on there and sell stock video. And I didn't realize that there were other companies doing it, starting up at the exact same time. I didn't realize that iStock and these other companies were all getting ready to launch video. So I thought I was really on the edge, and we kind of were anyway. So I did that for about 10 years, but it ended really badly. We got sued by a patent troll. Patent trolls are just, all they do is sue. They buy patents, they acquire patents they can use to sue other companies. And, in my opinion, it's just a big racket. And, you got to dig into it. When you dig into it, it just that rabbit hole gets crazier and crazier the farther down you go into that rabbit hole. So while that suit was dismissed against us, it and a combination of other stuff had done enough damage that we just completely crashed and burned and just had to reboot. That question, what would you do if you had to start over today? That was me. I mean, I had to completely restart, sold our house, moved into an apartment, and completely restart. So that's where a lot of this networking stuff kind of comes in, because I was an ads person. I ran ads. And what do you do when you don't have money to run ads anymore? And I did not have money to run ads. And I was like, I'm going to start doing local marketing. I'm going to run Facebook ads and Google ads for clients and do web development, because that's what I knew. But I didn't have money to run ads and get customers. And that's when somebody was like, hey, you should go to these local networking events, which was horrific to me because, one, they were early in the morning and I don't do mornings, or I didn't at the time. And two, it involved networking, which I thought was just a waste of time, quite frankly. I mean, even when I would go to trade shows, I would only go if I could sell something. Like, I had no concept of just going to meet people and network. So yeah. I started doing these little networking groups. And
had you started ClipScribe
No,
at the
no,
time?
no. This is before ClipScribe. So this was
Okay.
when I was just starting to do web development and run ads, and that was when I started understanding networking. But that's also the time that I started seeing Gary Vee, doing his video stuff. Casey Neistat on YouTube. I was a big fan of his, and seeing his video and understanding how he was. If you're familiar with him, he's consistently putting out a new vlog every day, and so all this stuff's kind of churning around me at once and making me realize, like, networking is really important, and how can you scale that? And that's when I was like, video is how you scale networking. Like that seems like the only way to scale it, where you can get that know, like, trust factor with millions of people instead of just the few people you meet at a small networking group every week. So all this is like churning around. So I thought, well, I want to start like teaching people how to do this and how to do video, because all of my companies have been video related up to that point. And so I started working on a course on how to do that and how to use video to build your audience, grow your network, grow your business. And so I started making these videos, and I just remember sitting there one day typing in subtitles, trying to copy what Gary Vee was doing. And I had looked for apps that would do that, and there was nothing out there. It always blew my mind that there was really nothing out there that would do that. And I'm sitting there hand typing them, and I got that question that everybody gets, what if I could just do this? What if I could do this? What if I make this myself and solve my own problem? And so it was like the stars aligned, because at that point I had all this stuff kind of come together from my last companies, from the video side, from the programming side, which I didn't start out knowing how to program. I knew some, but I had picked up a lot of that from doing my web development. Just in the past couple of years, I picked up a lot of the really hard coding stuff, and I just started building it. And I was like, the first day that I took out the string of, it was just a video with subtitles at the end that I had the code print out, and I laid it over my video in Adobe Premiere to see if they matched up, and I hit play, and they just started playing back. And I thought, holy smoke, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this works. Like, this is a thing, but I didn't know there was a market for it. So I thought maybe I'll do this as like a lead magnet for my course that I'm working on. Maybe I'll just give it away for free if nobody really is ready to pay for it. And so that was kind of my secondary goal. And then right around July 2019, you bought it like a week after I started doing Facebook ads, and I just started running those ads, and like within an hour, I started getting people signing up. And that was when I thought, whoa, like Facebook ads that work that quickly, it usually means they're going to work long-term, or they're going to work for a day and then completely disappoint you. And it just started working. And so I was like, I think this is going to be a thing. So that's how it kind of got started.
Yeah. And it really was from being on the other side of that. It was a pain point, right? It was a big pain point, wanting to, like, we get it. We understand that, okay, this is kind of critical now in social to have these subtitles on your videos and everything. And I was digging in. So yeah, we're talking several years ago when I first signed up and saw that, but I was comparing the 2-3 other ones that were out there, whatever they were, and just what you could do and how well. That's the biggest thing that kicked in for me, was that quality of the subtitle creation. So for everybody watching, there's, obviously go check out ClipScribe and everything that it does, but there's all the graphic elements and the layout and everything you can do there. But the actual core, like subtitling, the automatic subtitling itself is so flipping good. And that was the thing that stood out the most back then. I used it probably a year or so. And then for a couple of years, didn't, off doing other things, didn't do that. And came back to it, was like, oh yeah, I need to, I've got to start kicking these out again. Started this show again, so I'm going to need this. Yeah. But I also, like, I love Craig, but let me see what else is out there. Let me make sure this is still the best thing, you know? And I'm glad I did because, I did a couple of free trial things on stuff and I was actually shocked how bad they were because I'm used to ClipScribe. So this is really like recent data too. This isn't, several years ago it was the bad, right now, like it's still for not just the price point, which it is, but just that. I mean, there's so little that I have to go in and fix in the subtitling process that just blows me away every time.
It's so funny because, and this is giving, maybe I'm a bit too transparent at times, but I mean, I remember when you signed back up and I was all happy. I was like, oh, he came back. I figured people are going to leave and that's perfectly normal in a SaaS situation. And I have no qualms about that. But when you see people that leave and then come back, it's really encouraging. And it lets you know, that you're really doing something right when people leave and then come back. And people leave for a lot of reasons. I'm taking a break. I'm not doing video right now. So yeah, I was pretty stoked about that. And also that, when you came back, I had put in stuff there that I think you had mentioned before that you wanted in the app. And whether or not it was right on time or soon after, because that feedback is so important. And I know you had given me some really good feedback and some features were added in that I know were because you asked for them.
Yeah. And I just, that was what was so fun too. And certainly, being, my Dallas startup world days and stuff like that, I got to know a lot of folks who are in the trenches and really putting these things together. And it was so great to have that feedback. Like this is amazing. And I think for anybody watching that's such it's such a selling point, right? I think, before the call, you were talking about maybe an approach you took before of trying to always seem bigger than you are and everything like that for fear of the person on the other end going like, oh, what is this? And where this is such a great example of the opposite of like, it was such a selling point to me that I know, Craig, that I can type in emails like, hey, this thing is kind of funky. And it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm getting an answer from Craig, I was like, oh, let me look at this, it's huge.
Yeah. That's, it's funny because in a networking group that I'm in now, that is for SaaS, company entrepreneurs. I even had somebody say to me, hey, why are you on like your homepage? I think it needs to look more corporate. And I was like, no, I don't want to look more corporate. Like I want my customers to know who I am and that they can come to me. And yeah, it was a big flip because, and the irony of it is, a part of me did wonder, like with Revo stock, what if it all goes south? Like, what if at some point it goes crazy? Do I want my face out there if it goes, and it did go south, but the one saving grace was the people that I did know. And even though I didn't want to be the big face of the company, I had built relationships with especially our contributors. And I remember one night I had to send out it was a blog post to all the people that contributed and sold on the site. And this was right after the lawsuit was dismissed. And we basically had to decide, are we done? Like we were in that bad a shape at that point. And so I was able to talk about the lawsuit. I sent this blog out. I said, hey, everybody, here's where we're at. Here's what the deal is. Here's where we're struggling. And I mailed that. I posted that, as a private network blog around 3 a.m. And I went to bed mortified, thinking I'm going to wake up to people that are furious and mad. And man, I got so much support. It really blew my mind. So ironically, it was that factor. It was the factor of caring and connection that really helped. And I remember one guy who said, and I didn't really know him that much, but he said, we appreciate what you've done and what RevoStock had done because we were very personal with our contributors. He said, I don't care if you ever pay me again, any royalties or whatever. And of course, that was not That was not the goal at all. But the fact that somebody said that, it really hit me hard and had a big effect on me. And that was the personal, nobody wants to have a personal connection with a logo or a brand or a company or a corporation or a nameless, faceless, help desk operator or a bot. Nobody does. So I do think it is I hate to use the word strategy, but it is a strategy for anybody that says, hey, I have to compete with maybe a funded company or a big corporation or a competitor that got bought out by, a huge competitor in the space. And you can do something that they can't, which is you can be a face and a name and somebody who cares about your customers. So yeah. I think it's a pretty great strategy. Like I said, for lack of a better term, I do believe that.
Well, and it is. Anything that you do should be a strategy, and that doesn't mean
right.
that it's disingenuous or anything like that, right? At all. And I've been seeing this more and more. Some of the really big boys talking about that aspect, to be that face of your company, because I think in the past it's been such a opposing thing. Like, you can't scale and be the face of your company. You can't be, that. You can't sell your company later. That's why you don't name it after yourself, or, and I think it went right along the lines with that. Just like, you're getting feedback from, the folks in your SaaS group. It's not backwards thinking. It's actually intuitive. You would think that would be the case, but we're seeing more and more of how this is actually how you stand out. Now, what's amazing is I'm seeing example after example of people who are the face, but they're in the back, they're scaling like crazy as you go through their system or you go through their product. Well, now you're going to interact with this person. You're going to interact with that person. This person's actually doing all the work, and you stay that face and you're steering the ship, and there's still that connection. And that's where, it's not CraigLillard.com, it is ClipScribe. And as much as they're one and the same, maybe, from a branding and communication with the marketplace, there's that separation. I think it's a perfect example. There's that separation that I don't, even with this relationship, right? Like, I still don't expect, if I put in a support ticket, that it's Craig. And if it's not, what the, at all, I've got, somebody else who's been on the show, Chris Walker with Legit and so many other companies. Even though there's a friendship there and a connection there, I don't expect it to be. I'm shocked sometimes when it's Chris, because I know how much he's growing. But he's growing like you are because of that face, because of that connection. And that really leads into one of the things I wanted to dig into, which I really loved seeing, was this, I want to say, new initiative, because it was something you kind of just rolled out around education and engaging with everybody. Why don't you bring everybody up to speed on that? Yeah.
So it's funny because it's not really new. It's new in that I'm kind of announcing it. But again, it's something I've been working on for quite a while. I just haven't really put it out there yet. So, one of the terms that I coined, and this kind of grew out of ClipScribe. I mean, ClipScribe was normally supposed to be a automatic subtitler, add headlines to your videos, add animated countdowns. That was pretty much it in its original case, along with some different layouts and stuff. But where it kind of went was, how can you take one video and turn it into multiple pieces of content very easily? And so I call that content compounding. The way you invest and you compound your money when you invest, you make some interest, and you take that, you put it back into the pile, and you make more interest, and you put it back in the pile. So that's what content compounding is. It's taking one video and making a piece of marketing, and then taking that and making multiple layouts for it for every platform, and then taking those and making little shorter versions for that you can use, and making a blog post out of it and everything, and then letting all those link together and work together to compound the traffic effect. So one of the things people kept asking me was, hey, how do I do this content compounding? I mean, I know I can do it with ClipScribe. So I put together a course that you get for free if you sign up for ClipScribe. And it's basically an over the shoulder course with me, where I show people exactly what I would do, because it's my app. It's like Hair Club for Men, which obviously I'm not a member of, but I am a member of ClipScribe and I use it for my own content. So I show people how to compound their content the way I would do it. And then the other thing is something called 100 Stories. Also something I've been working on for a long time. It's basically 100 story-based content ideas specifically for video. Because they're story-based, they work for anybody, any industry, because it's your story. And as you and I both know, stories are, one of the most powerful, if not most powerful type of content, because we all have a story. We all connect to stories, and we can all connect to them in different kinds of ways. So,
and that's how we remember stuff way better.
Yeah,
is through that for sure.
Yeah. So both of those are kind of bonuses. Even if you do a free trial for ClipScribe, you don't keep it. You cancel within like 7 days. You can still keep both of those. Lifetime membership to 100 Stories, and you can keep that content compounding course, which also has a planning Google Docs sheet. That same thing. It's the same one that I use when I'm planning out content. You can use it for a team. You can use it for an individual. And I think it's really helpful too. So all of those are kind of free bonuses.
Yeah, that's really strong. And I think that big lesson here too is because it's almost like ClipScribe itself when you were solving your own problem, right? But you're identifying these needs, and you're going through it. You're creating your own content for these folks, and we all get the concept. It's so much so that when you hear someone say like, "Oh, you can take this piece and turn it into all these other things," almost nobody out there who hears that now goes, "Oh, you can?" Like at all. Like people, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, I know, but when it comes down to sitting down to do that, like it sounds easy on a webinar when somebody's selling you something, but and it's great. It's a great idea, but now how do I do it practically and in some kind of time? And so to have that step by step, again, it's perfect because now you have this piece that you give away with the software itself, but also, I mean, that could be a LinkedIn event that you train people on and show, and now here's how you do this, and obviously, great, come over here to ClipScribe to make it happen. There's so many opportunities for that, but I think for everybody watching, it's to take that thought process, right?
Yeah.
How else can I basically eliminate the objections, right? From your audience, like, oh yeah, I would buy that. But once I figure out how to actually turn these into things, once I actually have a video content strategy, well, now you do. Now, going down the line. I think it's really smart, and it's well done, right? So it is built by somebody that does not like making video content. So that's one of the bonuses is that I'm constantly thinking, how can I make this easier for me, really, again, because even though I know how potent and powerful video content is, I'm not super, organized administrative person, and I'm probably more of a creative than anything. So sitting down and doing the work of it, and I'd rather find other things to spend my time on. So yeah, I'm trying to solve constantly trying to solve, my own problems. Oh yeah, and if you've done it at all, you want a better way to do it, from the idea, from the batching, from getting more use out of it, because that's one of the biggest pain points is, doing a show like this. Like this is this is the fun part. I'll do this all day long. I'll do this, I'll do 50 conversations a day. I love it. Now, as soon as camera goes off, and now we gotta, edit the thing together and then put the post out and all of that. But also being in that cycle of you do this great interview, put it out there, put a promo clip, and then you're just like, I guess that's all I do. I guess I'll go do another one. And so we constantly have that need and that desire to get more life out of this. And part of that is creating multiple pieces from it. Part of it's, having an ongoing strategy. So you're using this a little more evergreenly, if that's a word, going down the list. But I love this. And also, now you've introduced some done for you services as well, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that came from, basically me, making my own video content and bringing in a virtual assistant, essentially, to, like you said, while ClipScribe is super, I mean, it really is. I keep hearing more and more how great and accurate the subtitles are. We're not in 2045 or whatever, where everything is completely perfect. And some people are picky about where line breaks are. I'm picky about it. I like it to be a certain way. So, I hired somebody to just go through. I upload my video and they go through and just check everything over, put line breaks where I would like them, fix a word here or there and everything. Which, while it doesn't take long, if it's a 5-minute video, it takes a little bit of time to do that. So I hired somebody to do that. And they do a great job. So I have more time to do other stuff that is a better use of my time. And so I just started thinking, well, this could be really helpful for a lot of people, especially people who don't, maybe they don't have a great design sense. So maybe creating a layout or a template is really not their thing. And that's a lot of people, a lot of people, it's not their thing. So how can we go a little bit further and provide that service to people so that all they got to do is shoot their video and upload it and then get back from us all these, video clips ready to go. And then they just have to post them. So that's kind of where that came out of.
Oh yeah, for sure. Once again, handling an objection up front, because that's definitely a stopping point. Again, if anybody's done this, right? Like you do it once or twice and man, and I feel that way about it. And I've been doing this for 30 years, right? Yeah. I'm glad I know how, but my goodness. Now some people are certifiable and they enjoy sitting there in the minutia and, figuring it all out, but that's not me.
which is okay if like you're going to run an ad maybe, and you're going to, and you're just doing one video. And then you can spend that time. But it's like you said, I mean, you do a show, and if you're going to do more, I mean, you got to get the most that you can out of these shows to get the most you can out of it. And, the days of posting a single social media video without spending money on it and it getting seen by masses of people are unfortunately, almost over. So, yeah, you got to maximize it. And then there's that long tail that you get, so many people are creating social media videos and they're not putting them on their websites. And that is such a missed opportunity, because that's almost your only long tail solution, is to put that text on your website so it can get indexed by Google. I mean, YouTube is another option there as well, but then, you got to get them from YouTube to your website. So
yeah, but that combo together is huge. That's your evergreen play for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
And embed that YouTube clip onto your site with that text that you can put through for SEO's sake. You optimize that YouTube video for SEO, video search. And yeah, then that's really strong.
Yep. Which of course is one of the things ClipScribe does as well. There's a blog button. It takes all your transcript and puts it into paragraphs for you, and you copy and paste it, put it in your blog, and there you go.
Yeah, that's strong. How's the feedback? I know it's kind of new. Is there data yet on kind of the 100 days of content plus the over the shoulder stuff?
I haven't super pushed it yet. So I've done some mentions about it in our Facebook group, the ClipScribe users group. But so far feedback has been great. People love it. People are signing up. And so yeah, and most people that sign up for ClipScribe are taking advantage of that as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with it.
Awesome. Well, this is great. What's next? Any big shifts or anything like that on the horizon?
Well, we have some cool new features coming out. I can mention the couple that are coming the most quickly, and then we have a pretty big update that's going to be following these two. But the one that's coming up next is intro and outro videos, so you can add intros and outros very easily to your video, and just have them show when you want them to. And then something that I'm calling callbacks, which are, and for those that don't know, ClipScribe, the editor works based on your subtitle, based on your text. So to edit something out, you just click, the phrase or whatever that you don't want, and it completely takes it out of your finished video. So there's no need for a timeline and splicing and zooming in. You just be like, I don't want to say that, and turn it off. But you'll be able to select those blocks, those subtitle blocks, and do a callback, which is what you see a lot on video content, where at the very beginning of the video, somebody takes a section from the video and plays it at the very beginning, like a teaser, attention grabber to get people pulled in. Maybe it's a shocking something somebody says or whatever. So it'll be really easy to do that. Just check off the blocks that you want to show up at the beginning, and then you can do your intro and have it on there, and then go straight in, to the rest of your video. So I'm pretty excited about those updates.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I don't think I even realized that will editing that text in there will edit the video, like having that. I don't think I even realized that.
Yeah, I think some people don't realize it. So when you're editing your subtitles, there's a little eyeball icon on each of those blocks. And if you click that off, it edits out that from your whole video. So a real useful case is a lot of times when somebody shoot a video, the very first three minutes, a lot of times it's just kind of rubbish, and they're looking around and they're getting everything, and there's silence because you're not really talking. And so getting rid of that is literally just a single click of the mouse, but you can select whole sections and edit them out. So it's probably one of the most useful features.
Yeah, especially, because that allows somebody to go in and avoid the whole even Premiere side of things. Yes. If they're pretty efficient with their recording to camera and all of that. Like,
it does. Yeah, I don't, the only time I use now for any of my content that I might use like an After Effects or Premiere is if I have some kind of special effects, that I need to do. Otherwise, upload the video straight to ClipScribe. And like I said, my assistant goes in, she edits out all the blank spots, all the mistakes. Sometimes I'll just talk to her in the video and I'll be like, hey, I just messed up. So just take that out, and just clicks it off, and it's gone, and exports it. So yeah, you really don't need, if you're doing content like this, where you're just talking to a camera, you really don't need those other video editors. You can do it all in ClipScribe.
That's great. Fantastic. So tell people where to go and how to connect with you.
Yeah. So clipscribe.com is our URL. We're on Facebook. Just search ClipScribe. I think our address is like ClipScribe now. We're on Instagram, but go to clipscribe.com. You can do any free trial. And we have monthly and annual accounts, but with any of that, if you do a free trial, if you sign up outright, you'll get access to those three things: the lifetime 100 Stories membership, the content compounding course, and that content compounding planning sheet. And if you cancel your ClipScribe membership within the 7 days, you still get to keep those. So I think they'll be useful to you, even if you don't decide to use ClipScribe for this very purpose. You can take the lessons from that and put it into whatever software you want to put it into.
Yeah, and I've gone through all of those too. Really, they're really strong. So
Thank you.
Obviously, I highly recommend everybody go check out ClipScribe. Craig, thanks so much for being on. This has been a blast.
You got it, man. Thanks so much, Jason.
All right, we'll see you all next time.
Thanks so much for tuning in and being a part of this show. If you ever need help building out custom strategies for your business or deciding what actions to take next, head over to MediaLeadsCo.com and let's connect. I'll talk to you soon on the next Strategy and Action.